What's poppin', y'all? It looks like all it takes is a hit song and they switch up. Because Serena Williams has recently been copping pleas after Drake dropped Nokia, and it's been climbing the charts as the new anthem for not just chicks, but chicks definitely do love the song. Because she was asked about Not Like Us, and she was made Time's 100 most influential people, one of those lists that they put out every year. And in response to her crip walking during the performance of Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar, which is the diss of the entire evening, and she went to say, absolutely not. I would never do that. And that was sad that anyone would ever think that. Really? Come on, this... We'll get into my thoughts. Oh my goodness, this makes my blood boil. I respect how they could. Obviously, I can see how someone would think that, but absolutely not. I have never had negative feelings towards him. We've known him for so many years. The we, who's the we in this scenario? Because she's clearly not talking about we as in like all of us, like everyone in the world or everyone that knows Drake, but is the we her and her husband? Because if that's the case, then it gets deeper. Who would have thought that a tennis player from Compton would be regarded as one of the best tennis players of all time? It was just putting an exclamation on it. No, it wasn't. Now, people were already giving criticisms to Serena about how her sister had been killed by Crips, and for her to crip walk, it's, this and that. I don't really know too much into that situation, so I'm not going to dig into that angle because this is strictly about her and Drake and her copping these pleas, and frankly, I find it disgusting. Because she's playing us like we're stupid. And that angers me more than anything else. Like, she's playing dumb. Like, oh, well, you guys thought that was... I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think that would be interpreted that way. Like, now I can see it looking back. But when it was first proposed to me, I had no idea. Yeah, all right. So now you want us to think... this is gaslighting. This is straight up gaslighting. And it infuriates me to another level. Because Serena Williams and Drake have a long history. And Serena Williams' husband hates Drake. So this is the thing. This response, I feel like, is disrespectful to her husband. Her initial dancing there, it's also, to a degree, kind of disrespectful to her. I wouldn't say the initial dancing part is disrespectful to her husband. But if Serena Williams dated Drake, which she did, and she's now married to this guy, she should just stay away from anything Drake-related whatsoever. I feel like that's a simple way to respect the situation, right? But she doesn't do that. And I'm not necessarily blaming it on Serena. Now, the cop and please part, I am. But if we take a look at the long history, because she said we've known him for so long, it's been over 10 years since they were in a relationship. If we look at the timeline of their relationship, the first time Drake was with her was... hell. The first time it was rumored was, 2011? Because he tweeted at Serena and said, at Serena Williams, I cannot wait to put it on you and make you sweat during our match this weekend. That was in 2011. And then their relationship never officially got confirmed, but they were seen together frequently. He was supporting her at tennis matches every now and then. But Drake had also rapped about other famous celebrities or girls that he never actually got with. Like, for instance, Nicki Minaj. We don't know what happened behind the scenes, but at least publicly, there was never really an official relationship there, or even an engagement in terms of a physical engagement. And then he mentions her in 2013. So this is 2 years later. And in the same time span, Drake's obviously seeing other chicks. We're seeing him with other chicks. But in the track Worst Behavior, he raps, I'm with my whole set, tennis matches at the crib. I swear I could beat Serena when she playing with her left. Now, some fans thought that this was mentioning the relationship. Some other fans thought that this was just him kind of like showing her love again, because she's also popular in pop culture. And Drake does these clever bars every now and then to where it can be interpreted in either way, like the Megan Thee Stallion bar that, oh, she knows she a stallion. Yachty said that wasn't about Megan Thee Stallion, but Drake knows that people think it's about Megan Thee Stallion, but he gives himself an out to say, not to say that it's not, but he gives an argument for people to say that it's not for him. But then in 2015 was where things really started to pick up, and they're like, okay, maybe they're dating now. And keep in mind, they could have not been dating for the prior 2 years, but 2015, they're dining together, and he also attended some of her tennis matches and a fashion show that he had. But sometime around here, it must have fell off, because if you're reading this, it's too late dropped, and I think Drake just said, okay, I'm out of here. This is next level. I'll see you on the next one. Or they just ended up breaking up. Maybe Serena Williams wanted to get married, have kids, who knows. But by late 2015, Serena Williams starts dating Alexis Ohanian, who's one of the co-founders of the platform Reddit. And in 2016, Drake drops his song Too Good with Rihanna. And some people thought that this was about Rihanna. She's on the song too. They weren't too sure. It was clearly about a chick. But we come to find out in 100 Gigs, which is this released, leaked, dropped footage of Drake's damn near his entire career, a lot of footage from his entire career on his website after the beef, that this was about Serena Williams, and he admits it. And I'm going to play you guys that clip right now.
Up and coming relationships, everything's going to be very light, not going to get like heavily into things.
No, I get heavy on a couple joints, but this is more about me and Serena, so I
gathered that.
But I wanted to make a song.
But you don't want it to be.
Well, it's funny because when I make songs about women, I also make songs for them. So I know what kind of song to make. If I'm going to talk about them, I'll at least do them the justice of making them a song that they like.
Yeah.
Okay? So I know Serena very well, and I know that she'll hear it loud and clear, but she'll also not hate me for it because it's lighthearted, you know?
And she is seeing someone else.
I don't know, Mom.
So clearly we know Too Good was about Serena Williams. So they were in a relationship, who knows for how long. But it was already over by 2015. 2024 is 9 years later. 2025 right now is 10 years later. And then Serena Williams and Alexis Ohanian get engaged and married in 2017. So really, really quick, they got married. Engaged 2016, married in 2017, and their daughter was born before the wedding. So keep in mind, 2 months before the wedding, you add 9 months pregnancy. So within a year, she was already pregnant. And then fans also thought that Drake's song Nothing's Into Somethings was about Serena Williams marrying Alexis Ohanian. Well, we're not really too sure. But Alexis Ohanian gets some shots thrown at him from Drake in 2022 on her loss, which he took an opportunity to go at a lot of people, especially like relationships and women and things like that. And he would rap, sidebar, Serena, your husband a groupie. He claimed we don't got a problem, but no, boo, it's like you coming for sushi. And Alexis Ohanian responds to this with one of the most sucker responses I've ever seen. And he says, the reason I stay winning is because I'm relentless about being the absolute best at whatever I do, including being the best groupie for my wife and daughter. And it's him in the stands watching Serena Williams. And how does Serena Williams reply to this? Well, her response is some heart eye emojis. The guy's a side character. Or not even heart eyes emojis. It's like kind of like the blushing emoji, which is even worse, to be honest. It's like, you guys know the vibe that the blushing hearts around her. And this is in a Twitter thread that was about his work and investments. It's like if you look at the full Twitter thread, it has nothing to do with Drake or anything. So he throws this sub at Drake while Drake damn near calls him out directly. But then the beef happens, right? And who's egging on the beef? Well, Serena Williams' husband, he puts out his most listened to artist, which is Kendrick Lamar, 1555 tracks played for the end of 2024. And Serena Williams at the ESPYs, which she's hosting, where people will make jokes and stuff, she says the following quote, "And if I've learned anything this year, not a single one of us, not even me, should ever pick a fight with Kendrick Lamar. He will make your hometown not like you. The next time Drake sits courtside at a Raptors game, they're going to Forrest Gump him. Seats taken." Now, is Serena Williams going to say, I don't have a problem with Drake? That was just a joke. I can't believe people would interpret it that way. Let's pull up that quote, because they're just talking about her dancing. We got a quote right here. Or is she going to say, oh, no, that's just like jokes that we're putting out there for us as listeners, as consumers that have no attachment to anybody in this beef? It's completely different, because this beef, the outcome of this beef was not just Drake losing, but Drake being branded in a complete movement of haters that are continuously trying to brand him as a PDF, as someone that is a predator, as someone that is the worst thing that you can possibly describe a person as. Now, of course, for us, we can enjoy that song and enjoy Drake's music. We're not personal friends with Drake, and we haven't had personal interactions with Drake. But Serena Williams has. She was in a personal relationship with him. And she says that she has no issues with him. So if that's the case, then you can't come at him like this. And this is something that you should leave out, especially with how explicit the accusations are. This isn't just some fun rap beef like Drake and Pusha T, if you want to call it that. Fun as in it didn't get too deep like this. Of course, exposing the kid it's personal, but it's nowhere near this level. And we already know that because Drake didn't sue Pusha T over that. And this is where clearly it's complete cap. And the husband also tweets out in January of this year and says, "Wop, wop, 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 not like us." damn near like what, 8-9 months after the song drops. So your husband does not like Drake. We know he hates Drake. Of course, your husband's probably not going to be fond of your ex anyway, especially if it's Drake. He's not too fond of him. He's taking shots at him. He has shots taken at him by your husband. And then for her to come out and say this quote, I feel like she's disrespecting us. She's disrespecting her husband. Because if Serena Williams said, yeah, I had to throw a little bit of salt on the wound, like he did take shots at my husband, in the quote, I would understand it. I would actually say, you know what? Okay, that's cool. But this reinforces the Drake lyric of her husband being her groupie because he is not even worth defending in the public eye. Now, granted, the fact that she would have to defend her husband or whatever, that's like some people may interpret that a certain way. But for you to just make it seem like, oh yeah, me and Drake have no issues after Drake dropped bars on disrespecting. Yes, Drake was disrespecting your husband. He dropped bars on top of his head like that. And you don't have an issue with him? So are you and husband not on the same team, or what's the deal here? Because we know that your husband clearly hates Drake and you're just trying to maintain this like diplomacy, which I find odd. Now, she's probably not trying to like make the situation bigger than it needs to be, but you already did that. You did that at the ESPYs. You knew what you were doing. And the part that you were dancing in were direct lyrics referencing Drake. So it's just a stupid situation overall. And I don't know if she regrets it, but she couldn't have regretted it because there's multiple instances, right? Like she mentions it on stage and then she does the dance. And then when asked about the dance, she answers the question. She could have said no comment or said, hey, I don't want this to be put out. So there's 3 separate instances where Serena Williams involved herself in this, and none of it involved defending her husband's honor, if you want to call it that. None of them, hell, the last one came at defending Drake. So she didn't attack Drake, but she defends him in the end and says, oh yeah, we've known him for so many years. This is pathetic by Serena Williams, frankly, to be honest. And it's even more pathetic by her husband because the guy is probably reading this absolutely angry because there's no way that guy's cool with Drake or is chill with him. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Go to helloyassine.com. Thank you for watching. Peace.